Hello, this is my, as TJ would said, 2 cents on the subject of the state and its origins. In Wing Chun, the highest aim, the highest goal of both training and executing the skill is to attain the state with capital S. The state of pure being without thought, without any reaction, which is only a limited action. In 20th century, a large portion of popularity contribution of Wing Chun throughout the Hong Kong, China, Asia, and the whole world belongs to Ip Man. He was from noble aristocrat family, then Sino-Japanese wars and World War II, and all the things that happened after these misfortunate times and events. He's got dealt a very challenging deck, and that was his payment for the benefit of being one of the greatest Wing Chun teachers and practitioners probably in history, and for sure of the 20th century. After these wars, he ended up poor, some would say even addicted to opium, and left to do a thing he was meant to be doing on this planet, and that's Wing Chun practice. So God deprived him of all of his material wealth so he can pour in a technical and spiritual capacity and skill in the form of expressing Wing Chun through movement and lack of movement in space-time. One of his finest students, if not the finest, was at the time of his peak, maybe even considered a pound per pound strongest known man in the world, and this maybe the finest Ip Man's student was Chu Shong Tin. and I believe one of his finest and most dedicated, and I hope most profound students is my Sifu John Kogan, teacher from Straya. And my aim is to be, if not on that level, of that caliber, but as good as I can be in joy of acquiring this skill. I believe the greater the joy, greater the opportunity to attain it, to acquire it, to get to that level. In which case you have to get over many plateaus in your physical, mental, spiritual, energetic, whatever lacking body you are dealing with. In Wing Chun, there are many lineages, all of them technically different. So we do not speak, or at least I'm not speaking, about any other Wing Chun perspectives out of my proud lineage, which is Ip Man, Chu Shong Tin, Sifu Kogan, and whoever TF comes to the end of our teacher mentorship course to obtain a degree in Wing Chun prowess. So, in our lineage, which I'm a proud representative of, the thing we deal the most, because in whatever action we undertake, we fuel this action with this thing, and it is our highest intention, the utmost converging point of all the good within and outside of us. When aligned with this highest intention, align meaning being and doing according to your highest intention, then it's the purest or the only pure reflection of life, which is limitless, which is beyond and above, and below, and fractally unapproachable on the details side. So large universe, small Planck's length. They are both even too small or too big to be considered anything more than technical ability to describe the world which we sense. But what is immeasurable and beyond any comparison or limitation. That being said, how do we connect ourselves with this holy grail of our life, highest intention? For starters, we sink. We get ourselves into a meditative state in which we inhale life with every breath, vitality, which rinses off all the garbage, all the trash, all the metabolic waste, physical, emotional, spiritual, energetic, etheric, however you want to call it, and whichever manifestation of your body you are referring to. And we do it to, like the gravity pulls physical matter, every weight to itself. This mechanism we should use to release, to sink all the negativity, all the bad elementals, as Daskalos from Cyprus would say. So as we have Wing Chun lineage, we also have Researchers of Truth lineage, in which I also belong to a very proud circle of Daskalos and his apprentices, which or whose knowledge I absorb by training with Sifu Kogan, with others at One Tao Academy, both teachers and students, and from readings such as the Magus of Strovolos, a book about famous, or in some circles probably infamous Daskalos of Cyprus island in Mediterranean Sea. So back to our main theme. We have to sink all the negativity, all the bad elementals. Elementals are thought forms. We have basically bad and good thought forms. We have to deal with all of them, get to discern which one is which by using all our computational power, capacity, and then just leave it to emotional gravitation, spiritual gravitation, physical gravitation, just to absorb it from us. So from our crown, top of head, wash down and ground it into the ground. It's like in electrics, a safety mechanism that helps us not to burn our entire organism, mechanism, system, burn out. So we need to keep it cool. And a way to keep it cool is to give it back to Earth. And when we sink, when we get released and freed from this burden, freed, is that a word? When we get rid of this burden, then we are light, then we can use our focus on sensing with all of our senses. Somebody would say we have 5 types of senses. I believe they are 1 sense more developed than the other, and the other more developed than the other, but they are all manifestations of general sensing, percepting, seeing as it is, without any obstacles in our vision, without anything on our horizon which covers or divides or throws shadow at any aspect and point of the horizon. So our senses are not here to be pleased, which is, I believe, one of the general problems of today's, or probably all-time, human existence. So they are not here to be pleased. They are here to sense. They are our sensors. If we are antelope in savannah and we don't want to see a lion attacking us, then we only get through life by luck until some not wanted to be seen lion deprives us of all our illusion in one firm bite. So we need to sense in order. So all these are steps to being in the state, to being connected with your highest intention, your highest aim, your purest reflection. After we've sensed to the best of our abilities and capabilities, then the real seeing comes forth. To see things as they are. As my favorite speaker, Jiddu Krishnamurti, always accentuates, to see clearly. And another representative of our fine Wing Chun lineage is Bruce Lee. He was by far the most popular one, with almost unimaginable abilities: speed, precision, philosophy, clear thinking and seeing. And a big contributor to his ability to see and to express is Jiddu Krishnamurti, because when Bruce Lee broke his back, leg, something, he was in bed for at least 6 months without moving, and then he stumbled upon Krishnamurti's philosophy, his written work, and maybe some other sources of his teachings. Then he absorbed it a lot into his practice, everyday life, and I believe it gave a significant contribution to his Kung Fu way of living, because Kung Fu is essentially a way of living. Should be part of our every action. And with all these elements, when we start to see the way our brain processes input is by generating thought forms. And a very skilled, a wizard is the one who is able to recognize his thought forms, to calibrate them, to change them, to annul them, to modify them, to connect them with other thought forms or disconnect them. It's his tools to get by in this life. One of the major tools that anyone can acquire, but most people, at least according to my experience, are lacking this motivation and this desire, this wish to command your thought forms, to see them, to recognize them, to aptly place them in your world map, on your horizon. And with this awareness, with released whatever should have been released, as we call it, thinking, by sensing, by seeing, we are almost there in our pathless path to being connected with, or on the same frequency as our highest intention, which is the highest frequency imaginable. The purest vibration in space-time, which is almost non-detectable, being so light, being so like an eel, unreprehendable. That's why our limited apparatus of intellectual mechanism isn't capable of grasping something which is not adequate, which is not small enough to be grasped. It's immeasurable, and we cannot approach it with purely intellectual effort. That's why we need to release, sense, space, vibration, frequency. As my good fellow man, compatriot Tesla had said, we need to think and observe the world in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency, among many other brilliant things and deeds he cared to share with us. When approaching highest intention, we need to get into meditative state, which includes our physical body as well. All of the things mentioned beforehand apply to our physical body firstly and foremostly, because it's our key lock to both material and non-material world. An explicit system or order as material world, and implicit order, which are beautiful expressions by Dr. David Bohm when he spoke about this dichotomy of material, non-material, ethereal, physical. So he said explicit order and implicit order, or something like that, something similar. And he worked a lot with Krishnamurti as well. There are many of their conversations recorded on both video camera track and paper, so I suggest highly to immerse yourself in that area as well. Beautiful, beautiful constructions and beautiful intellectual conversations which deny intellectualism a trait to be even considered anything more than just physical capacity. It's just a gatekeeper of our input and output, our conscious input and output, nothing more. So intellect does not suffice. When we meditate with Sifu Kogan, we start by taking some deep, calm, relaxing breaths. And after a minute or two, we come to visualizing, again as a form of thought, as a thought form, a little light bulb or a little marble in our center, which is somewhere here or somewhere here, just below your tailbone, and imagining it goes up and up to the top of our crown and further. As Redman would have said, up and up to the heavens. Very beautiful meditation by our colleague Red. And like Carl Jung said, the tree which aims to spread his branches and leaves to heaven should root itself and spread its foundations to hell. So we need to know what's what, and in that way discern between our thought forms. We cannot grasp anything, especially not life, which is ungraspable, but you know what I mean, by being under the golden bell, or however in your language you say, for somebody who is falsely secure all his life. Like physically secure, what's the point? Or being secure for the sake of being secure. That's not life. That's being secure. Pour l'artistic approach. It cannot be a point of itself. With this, from our middle to heaven connection, we attain the level of state. We connect to our highest intention, entering the area of power, which is more refined expression for being capable than the expression strength. Strength comes from weakness, and power comes from power. More about this topic you can find in works of Dr. David Hawkins. In which he generated a map and levels of consciousness. And a good thing that remained with me is whenever we get insulted, that means we fall below the level of integrity. It kind of sank in. Then I sensed it, saw it, and centered it, and included it into my transmissions to highest intention groove. I like to take some pauses to sort out my thoughts, and I'm not speaking in my native language. So please, whenever you find yourself lost in my thoughts and my silences, deem it as a meditation. So maybe the Sifu can release me of the duty to record a lot of meditation videos, clarity sessions, because this video of mine for my first module, which by far exceeds the expected time and does not meet the required level of quality. Forgive me, but see, I'm trying. It's 35 minutes. Maybe my video can be deemed as both my module 1 submission and my all the meditation videos submission, because it's always up to man who meditate himself. He cannot get into the state by being guided by a good mentor. A good mentor can help, but it's up to you to have a good meditation for yourself, guided or not guided by you or anybody else. So if you find some parts of my video submission boring, slow, or silenced, then you just don't enjoy your meditation. And it's not the way Kung Fu operates. Meditative, no matter what. I enjoy doing forms. Siu Nim Tao, first forms. There are 4 forms: Siu Nim Tao, Cham Kyu, Biu Ji, and Muk Jong, which is on wooden dummy. So Sifu, I didn't came first in 75 days flow challenge because I already know all the things, so I don't need a wooden dummy, but thank you. Teach, enjoy your second wooden dummy. And I hope to get to a level of, for example, Chu Shong Tin, for who people say that he was doing forms for hours, like he looked like a statue, because he moved so slowly, so intentionally, so in detail, that he would look like freezed at that space-time point. And he would do it for hours, slowly, like a statue. And I heard Noah did SNT for more than 60 minutes, and TJ for 40 and few minutes. Then my goal is to at least formally and measurably take these records down and put my name on race list of long SNT doers. Siu Nim Tao means little thought, according to my sources. And when Chu Shong Tin came to Ip Man, like how many years ago? Maybe 75 years ago, or 60 years ago at least. He approached Ip Man and asked, "What's your advice? What's your secret?" And Ip Man said, "Always forward intention, aiming forward, your back up straight, Qi Gong is in Chinese, and do your forms perfectly, as much and as many as you can and want." And Chu Shong Tin said, somehow I believed him, and I started practicing day and night. And moving forward with your back straight is a foundation of the concept of power plane. You focus, you funnel in all of your intention, all of your physicality, all of your intellectuality, all of your emotionality into this groove, this funnel of energy flow in which you absorb, in which you immerse your opponent or your sparring partner or your dance partner or your wooden dummy or whatever casualty comes your way. In this concept, we deem other, let's say, body as the extension of our own body. So, for example, quote unquote, this is my body and this is my opponent's arm and body. So I feel this as my whole of my arm, as my upper arm. I feel our connection as my elbow, and I feel the whole body of the opponent as my forearm and my hands and my fingers. So like extended version of my physical and other bodies. So then I operate and undertake moves with my body, not with my opponent's body. It's a great difference. That's how you become Khamzat Chimaev, by feeling it as one body in which you have more than 50% votes on what are we going to do with this one body of ours scrambling. So power plane, get them sunk in into your power plane. That's how you roll. Maybe that's it for my first ever video submission on a specific subject. Hopefully model 2 will be shorter, more stacked with quality, and less meditative for those who don't want to meditate. Then you're not for Wing Chun. So I don't give a DAMN. Thank you, Wan Tao Academy. Thank to all of my training partners, my friends, my compatriots. Peace, love, and Kung Fu. And PS, I'm forming my training groups, my little Padawan formations, cohorts, and in these cohorts there are like 100% Padawans and up to 50% of Jedis, because in every of these groups you always learn something unexpected while being formally somebody who spreads knowledge at that moment. You try to spread something, you succeed or not, and then somebody surprises you with better insight, which deeper knowledge, deeper prowess of this concept or some similar concept which can be applied and implemented in other one. So God bless all the teachers and all the students. Peace, love, and Kung Fu. See you in, hopefully in person, not on video.